Hey, Mama. Welcome back to the Money Hungry Mama podcast. If you're new here, I'm really glad you found this episode because if you clicked on this title, I'm guessing you're in that very specific headspace where you want something more, but you don't know what that something is yet. And I just want to say this right away before we go any further. There's nothing wrong with you. There is nothing wrong with you. You're not behind. You're not late. You're not missing some magical business gene. You're just early. And today I want to talk about why you don't need a business idea yet and what you actually need first if you want to build something that doesn't burn you out or make you feel like you're constantly failing. This episode is going to be about relief, permission, and starting in a way that feels right. Let's talk about the biggest lie moms tell themselves when it comes to starting anything new. I'll start when I have the right idea. I hear this constantly. I said this constantly. I just need to figure out what I want to do. I'm still thinking. I don't want to waste time on the wrong thing. And on the surface, that sounds responsible, right? Thoughtful, smart, you got the right head on your shoulders. But here's the truth, and I want you to hear this. Waiting for the right idea is one of the fastest ways to stay stuck. Not because you're lazy, not because you're unmotivated, but because clarity does not come from thinking. It comes from movement. Most of us aren't stuck because we don't have ideas. We're stuck because we're waiting for certainty in a season of life that doesn't offer certainty. Motherhood already taught us this. You didn't wait until you felt fully prepared to become a mom. You learned by doing. I make this joke with my son all the time. They just sent me home with you. I didn't get a rule book. I didn't know what I'm doing. And he goes, they just send you home with babies? Yeah, because you figure it out as you go. Starting a business or even just exploring income works the same exact way. This idea traps us harder than anybody else. And here's why. You're already carrying a mental load, emotional responsibility, time pressure, financial stress. So the idea of starting the wrong thing, it makes us feel scared, dangerous, like this could be the something that breaks you. You feel like you can't afford to mess this up. But here's the reframe that changed everything for me. Coming from the girl that tried close to 30 side hustles. You're not choosing your forever path, you're choosing a starting point. And those are two extremely different decisions. You don't need to know the ending of this. You just need to know what moves you out of being stuck. Think of it this way. If you don't go out on a limb and start trying those different hustles that are in your mind, trying those different situations that are pulling at your heart when you're watching that TikTok video or the Instagram reel and you're like, oh, I could do this. If you don't try it, how do you know it's not for you? So you don't need a business idea yet. What you do need, I'm about to give you the real foundation, the unsexy one that doesn't get talked about on Instagram. There are 4 things you need to do before the idea. Identity. You need to start seeing yourself as someone who's allowed to want more. And I need you to hear me when I say this. It is not greedy. You are not ungrateful. It is not selfish to want more. You're just being honest to yourself. A lot of us are trying to build income while still believing that we're supposed to be happy with what we already have. That internal conflict is going to sabotage everything. Before you choose a hustle, you truly need to believe it's okay for me to want more space, money, and purpose. Let's say that together. It's okay for me to want more space, money, and purpose. That right there, that belief is going to matter way more than the idea. You are not selfish. You are not greedy. You are not ungrateful for wanting more. Number 2, time. And I'm talking realistic time. Not one day when life calms down. That will never happen. I hate to be the one to be the bearer of bad news, but that is never going to happen. I'm talking about real time. 10 minutes here, a podcast during school pickup, a note in your phone while making dinner. If you're waiting for uninterrupted hours, that you need a solid hour before you are going to start a business, you're never going to start. You need to fit it into your actual life, not a fantasy one. And this is coming from somebody who has been writing children's books for 5 years. I am recording this on January 11th because, as you know, my solo episodes I love to do the day before. And this was the first month that I have not run one single ad to my books. Nothing. and it is January 11th. And it's almost at a record breaking point for me for my books. And it is not because I have spent hours a day doing my business. I promise you I'm not. I am a full-time mom, full-time working, full-time trying to run two businesses. I promise you my books are not getting my sole attention, but you know what they did get? They get 10 minutes a day. They get an email. They get a check. They get posting something on social media. They get trying to plan an author visit. They get 10 minutes a day, whatever that 10 minutes is. But those 10 minutes, they add up. When I was writing The Money Hungry Mama, there were days I literally did not want to write at all. A sentence a day. All you need is 10 minutes a day, and you are going to get further than if you try to find an hour in your time. I promise you, I've done it. Energy. Who wishes that they could just put a coffee IV right in their arm? Because same. Some seasons are not for building, and that's okay. But if you're exhausted to the point where everything feels heavy, starting something new feels impossible, no matter how good your idea is, sometimes the first step isn't business, it's rest or boundaries or simplifying. Starting a business takes energy. Being a mom takes energy. If you're sitting here in this moment listening to this and I know the feeling, I've been in that feeling where you just feel so mentally exhausted that you might physically break, that you're trying your best, but it's nowhere close to being good enough, or you are just being so hard on yourself and you're letting that negative self-talk take over. I need you. And I need you to hear me saying this. I need you to rest. I need you to rest. I need you to, and I learned this actually from the wonderful Mel Robbins. There is a nerve in our chest. It's called the vagus nerve. When you put pressure, so taking two hands and pushing as hard as you can right in your chest, right above, like, I don't know if can you even say boobs on a podcast? Well, right above your boobs. You just want to push as hard as you can, right? And breathe. What happens is your vagus nerve, it shakes, and it shakes when you're stressed. It shakes when when you have a lot of anxiety. But when you push it down and you breathe, and I'm talking deep inhale, deep exhale, right? Like literally breathing and pushing down, you are going to feel better. And what I want you to do, instead of finding 10 minutes of starting to business, I want you to do 10 minutes for yourself, whether that's taking a really hot shower and just listening to your favorite song, driving in a car to a coffee shop and blasting. I don't know if you guys ever heard the Kelly Pickler. I gotta look it up. I was having a day the other day because no one is immune to having days. And I remembered a song that I used to blast in college, just driving to class. And it's Kelly Pickler, Best Days of Your Life. You can bet I took a drive to the Starbucks and just belted that song as loud as I could in my car. And that is therapy for me. I don't know about you, but screaming songs to the top of my lungs, Celine Dion usually, okay, therapy for me. Find 10 minutes, whatever that may be for you, and take it. Number 4 is belief. This is the biggest one. You, not me. I could sit here until I'm blue in the face and tell you how amazing and incredible and worth it you are. But you need to believe this. You need to believe that you can learn. You can learn anything you want to do. I've watched some of these incredible artists on Instagram and TikTok, and I love when they post their original because they're terrible. 9 times out of 10, they are terrible. And now they are making like Picasso style work, right? You can learn anything. Our brains can learn anything. You can adjust to anything. Coming from somebody who's tried close to 30 side hustles, I have adjusted time and time again. If I can do it, you can absolutely do it. You can change your mind. And I need you to hear this because you can. Just because you put a little bit of startup money into something and it's not working out doesn't mean you have to stay dedicated to that. Sometimes these hustles and these ideas are just stepping stones. They're stepping stones to get you to where you need to be. You don't need to get it right the first time. If I could get onto a mountain and scream this at the top of my lungs, I would absolutely do it. I need you guys to understand. Oh my gosh. I wish I could sit down with you and have a coffee and just like explain everything, right? You don't need to get it right the first time. If I was doing it the first time, oh my gosh, I remember the exact hustle. And some of you may have been here from day one and heard me talk about this. The exact hustle was I was going to be a metal stamper. A metal stamper. If you don't know what it is, I didn't either. I didn't either, but I saw it and I thought of a great idea. I was obsessed with my dogs. I wanted to make bracelets with the dogs' names on them and bought these bone things, bought these cat things, bought the metal stamper, made a website. Okay. Made a website. Do you hear the missing piece? I didn't even try it yet. I didn't even try it. I just thought I was going to be so good at this that I went all in. I bought all the pieces. I spent all the money. I designed all the things that was not a bracelet. And when I sat down to make a bracelet, I went through every single metal piece I had in about 20 minutes, boxed it right back up, and listed it on Facebook Marketplace. Okay. You don't need to get it right the first time. But you know what that did teach me? That I liked the creative aspect of it. I liked building the website, the thinking that I was about to start a business. Everything leads to something better. What I need you to understand is most people don't fail because their idea was bad. They quit because they believe that their first vision was supposed to work. They always say the first 3 years, it's like a 10% chance or whatever it is. Don't quote me about businesses making it, right? And it's because in those hard moments, in those trial and errors, people just think it was supposed to work. It looks so easy on the social media reel, on the highlight reels. It does. And I agree. I know it. I felt it. I had spent thousands of dollars on lies and scams of social media. And if it didn't work, so many people just throw in the towel and just say, oh, well, that first time didn't work. No, that is a stepping stone. Your first vision, even if you're going to continue to be a painter, if you started today painting, I bet you 10 years from now, you're going to be painting something completely different than what you started with. It's a stepping stone. Your first vision is a stepping stone, no matter what it's going to lead to. Now, instead of asking, what business should I start? I want you to ask better questions to yourself. What do I already know how to do? What problems do people already come to me with? What kind of work fits my life right now? What would feel manageable? This is where we get tripped up. We choose ideas based on what looks good online. Oh my gosh, I just said it. I literally was like a serial hopping hustler. Okay. I was like, oh my God, this girl's making so much money. Let me go try this. Oh, this one's making a ton of money. Let me try this. My biggest thing through coaching has been don't be me. Don't be me. Don't be me 10 years ago. Be me now. Be the one I'm trying to tell you because I've already failed for you. I failed for you. So if you're listening to this, I did that hard work. I got you. I failed. This is me telling you, don't go for what looks good online. Okay. Don't go for what other moms are doing. Don't go for what sounds exciting. Go for something you are truly passionate about, that you truly like to do, that you have time for. Because when it is 2 a.m. and you are pushing out orders for Christmas and all you want to do is cry because you are so physically exhausted, I'm going to tell you right now that Etsy shop closed the day after Christmas because I was physically drained. Yes, it made money. Yes, it was profitable. Yes, I stalked Etsy, influencers, YouTubes, all the things, learned all the things. And I could honestly say I did it. I had an incredible season. I would have hit the mark of Etsy, but I hated every second of it. Every single second. It made me cry because I was so truly exhausted. So when you're chasing this dream and you're doing your passions, nothing is more important than you doing something that you truly like to do. Because there's going to be a season you need to remember why you started doing it and remember the love that you had for it. If I could go back to the beginning and be so raw and real right now, I never started with clarity. I didn't have a vision. I didn't start with confidence. I used to be the person that hid. I wouldn't post on social media. I was embarrassed to say that I owned a business. Isn't that silly to think about that here I am writing a book and talking about this on a podcast? And there was once a time in my life that I was mortified to tell people what I was doing. And honestly, a lot of the things I tried, they didn't even work, but none of them were wasted. Every single hustle I attempted, I did, I learned different things. I learned what I liked. I learned what I didn't. I learned what I can handle. I learned what I wanted more of. I learned marketing. I learned business. I learned all of these tools in my toolbox was from trying these different things, learning about these different things, researching these different things. I don't think anything was truly a failure because I can't go back to one hustle and not say, dang, if it wasn't for that, I wouldn't be here. And I could say that wholeheartedly. If it wasn't for all of those things that I tried and quote unquote failed, I would not be sitting here talking to you. And to me, this is everything. So try whatever you want to try because I promise it's going to lead you to your purpose. Here's the part that I really want you to take away. A tiny first step right now that you can take without spending money, without choosing an idea, without committing to the dream business for life. All I want you to do is start paying attention. That's it. Pay attention to what frustrates you, what excites you, what you Google late at night, what you save on Instagram, what you complain about to your friends. Those patterns matter. You don't need to act on them just yet. Just notice. And if you want something even more concrete, write this sentence in your phone notes. If I could make money in a way that didn't drain me, it would look like, you don't have to finish it today. Just start it. That's how this begins. I want to leave you with this. You're not behind because you don't have a business idea. You are exactly where most stories start, before the clarity, before the confidence, before the label. The moms you see online who have it all figured out, they all started before they felt ready. They just don't talk about that part anymore. But that is the part that I care about. That's why I built this podcast. That's why I wrote The Money Hungry Mama for the beginning. So today, if all you do is feel a little lighter, a little less broken, a little more hopeful, that's enough. You don't need a business idea yet. You just need permission to begin. And you already have that. I'll talk to you in the next episode. Stay hungry.